Hey guys, so with my video going over my 6x6 rig here, there were a couple questions about how I actually made the pass-through, and I had this other truck on the bench kind of putting some stuff together, so I figured it was maybe a good time to talk about how I did that in a little bit more detail, maybe be a little more clear. So I went ahead and took a couple things apart just to save some time. So this is a stock FCX24 rear end here, if we can get a focus, and I've already pulled off this back half of the axle housing, so you can see the gears, and then this is the back half that I took off of my 6x6. So actually, let's show that here. So you can see I've already pulled that off, and normally this would be here doing the pass-through, driving the rear axle. And you can see this is essentially the exact same, well, it is just the front housing from another axle, right? And so basically I took a different axle, took it apart, take just the front half, still got the whole pinion gear in there, all that, and you basically just put it on. But if you just try to do that out of the box with no changes at all, you will run into a couple issues. If you look on the stock housing, unmodified housing, there is a small ridge right here. It runs the whole length of it, and that kind of interfaces with the other half of the housing here. It interfaces, like, it kind of slides inside right there. And actually right here at this angle now you can kind of see better, there's a little bit of a ridge there. So if you try to take two of these, smash them together, those two ridges are going to prevent the case from closing all the way, right? So normally they go together, you don't have any gap or anything, but if you try to take two, smash them together, you can see it doesn't really, it like won't close all the way. So what I did is I just took a hobby knife, and this one's already been done, and I just run around this edge very, and just smooth it up all the way around until it's flush. You have to do that to both sides, so you end up like this. See, I've smoothed it up here all around. It's all completely flat, and then you just push it back together, and now you've got drive gear coming in, ring gear, and then drive gear on this side. I'm just going to tighten up 2 bolts here so I can demonstrate the next part real quick. So we'll put that back together and put this back together. And then the other step that you have to do to actually make the rear end work, this has to do with the spinning in the correct direction. So if we look, the input shaft, I'm not going to turn the electronics on, but we can just demonstrate the input shaft into the middle axle. See, we're turning, the top of it towards us, so let's call that clockwise, and you can see the output shaft is spinning counterclockwise. So if I come over here on my stock axle, if I were to spin this counterclockwise, actually I could just throw this back together, kind of demonstrate it a little better. Just throw these wheel pieces, at least one. So if I turn this counterclockwise, this wheel is turning in reverse, right? But if I could come over here, if I turn this, so I'm turning this clockwise, this wheel's rolling counterclockwise, and then the output shaft is also turning counterclockwise, which would mean that this input shaft will turn counterclockwise. And see, that makes the rear wheel turn counterclockwise. But over here, if I turn this counterclockwise, my rear wheel goes clockwise when it's stock. So we have to swap the gearing to make that go the direction we want. And literally all you have to do that is pull this cap off, take the gear out with it. We flip that. Oh, we can't just flip the gear because the casing won't fit, so we just flip the whole thing. So now the ring gear is on the other side. You can see it goes in, no problem. And then right here, now we have a tab on the top and bottom, and that won't, obviously the wheel won't, the portal case won't slide onto that, so you just take your razor knife, slice that one off smooth, and you end up with this setup. So that I kind of did a stupid thing and didn't set that back up right. And so now all your wheels spin in the same direction, and you've got a pass through, and it's all nice and good to go. Well, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you got any other questions, anything else specific that you want to go over. And I'll be happy to talk about it. Thanks. Bye.